Today, we are conducting a documentary reconstruction of the 24 hours leading up to the deployment of the first atomic bomb. This investigation tracks the precise timeline of the mission as it was lived in real time, following every command and movement across the Pacific and Japan. We will observe the final countdown to an irreversible event, focusing on the factual density of that single day. Please, make yourself comfortable and enjoy the viewing. Morning briefing begins at North Field Air Base Compound. Colonel Paul Tibbets receives confirmation of weather patterns over primary and secondary targets. B-29, serial number 44-86292, designated Enola Gay, undergoes pre-flight inspection on hardstand number 7. Ground crew, chief reports fuel system pressure within operational limits. Aircraft carries no external markings beyond standard tail identification. In Japan, Monday morning commute begins across urban centers. Hiroshima tramway system operates on weekday schedule with routes connecting industrial zones to residential districts. Factory shift changes occur at textile plants along Motoyasu River. No air raid warnings are active. City Defense Headquarters maintains routine alert status. Anti-aircraft batteries remain in standby configuration. Civilian population reports to assigned labor mobilization points. Students aged 12 to 17 gather at designated assembly areas for demolition work, creating fire breaks between wooden residential blocks. Work proceeds without shelter access. Regional Military Command reviews overnight reconnaissance reports showing no unusual American aircraft activity. Standard patrol patterns continue over inland sea approaches. Manhattan Project Technical Team enters Assembly Building 1 under armed guard supervision. Bomb casing designated Little Boy undergoes dimensional verification using precision calipers. Steel cylinder measures 120 inches length, 28 inches diameter. Surface inspection reveals no stress fractures or weld defects. Uranium components remain in separate storage vault under continuous observation. Captain William Parsons reviews arming procedure documentation for in-flight assembly requirements. No practice runs are authorized. In Hiroshima, labor crews begin clearing operations in Zakobacho District. Hand tools remove wooden framework from condemned structures. Debris collection continues without mechanized equipment. Temperatures reach 26 degrees Celsius under clear skies. Railroad freight operations deliver coal shipments to power station facilities. Passenger service maintains connections to Kure Naval Base and Okayama Prefecture. Hospital staff at Red Cross facility conduct morning rounds. Surgical ward operates at 140% capacity, treating military and civilian casualties from previous bombing campaigns against other cities. No specific intelligence suggests Hiroshima faces immediate targeting. City remains functional production center with active port operations and military logistics infrastructure. Final assembly of weapon components begins under Project Alberta supervision. Uranium projectile is loaded into gun-type mechanism. Explosive charge positioned behind projectile assembly. No remote disarming capability exists once arming sequence completes. Device operates on impact detonation principle with backup barometric triggers. Parsons verifies checklist against Los Alamos technical specifications. Assembly proceeds in stages with mandatory inspection intervals. Japanese early warning radar network detects single aircraft contacts at extreme range over Pacific approaches. Plots indicate altitude above 30,000 feet traveling northeast bearing. Contact classification, weather reconnaissance. No scramble orders issued to fighter units. Previous pattern analysis shows solo B-29 flights precede no immediate attack formations. Standing defense doctrine reserves interceptor fuel for mass raid responses. Hiroshima Air Defense Command receives routine status update. No change in alert posture recommended. Midday meal distribution proceeds at school facilities and workplace canteens. Rice rations supplemented with dried fish and preserved vegetables. Water supply maintains normal pressure across municipal distribution network. Enola Gay is towed to bomb loading pit adjacent to runway Able. Hydraulic lift platform raises weapon casing from ground level. Bomb bay modification allows single-point suspension using reinforced mounting bracket. Loading operation requires 3 hours under direct supervision. Aircraft weight increases to maximum takeoff threshold. Fuel load calculated for 3,200-mile round-trip mission profile. No additional armament beyond tailgun position is installed. Weight constraints eliminate all defensive gun turrets except rear position. Crew assignment list finalized. 12 personnel including pilot, co-pilot, navigator, bombardier, weaponeer, and observers. In Hiroshima, afternoon shift change occurs at Mitsubishi shipyard facilities. Workers transit between residential areas and industrial zones using bicycle and pedestrian routes. Military convoys move through city center transporting supplies to forward staging areas. No unusual troop movements are observed. Kempitai security units maintain surveillance of suspected black market activity near commercial districts. Routine patrols continue. Medical staff prepare evening meal service at overcrowded hospital wards. Pharmaceutical supplies remain critically limited following months of blockade conditions affecting entire home islands. Mission briefing conducted in secured facility. Tibbets receives written operations order from 509th Composite Group Command. Primary target, Hiroshima. Aiming point, Aioi Bridge, City Center. Secondary targets listed, Kokura, Nagasaki. Weather minima specified for visual bombing requirement. Cloud cover must not exceed 3/10 at target altitude. Abort criteria limited to mechanical failure or enemy action. No political authorization required for weapon release once aircraft departs. In Tokyo, Imperial General Headquarters continues assessment of Soviet intentions following Potsdam Declaration rejection. Staff officers debate probability of Russian entry into Pacific War. Consensus estimates place Soviet action timeline at multiple weeks minimum. Manchurian garrison strength considered adequate for initial defense. Domestic defense planning focuses on anticipated American invasion of Kyushu scheduled for autumn. Hiroshima maintains strategic value as regional headquarters and troop concentration point. No intelligence suggests city faces targeting priority above already devastated urban centers. Communications intercepts provide no warning of specialized weapon deployment. Captain Parsons receives specific instruction regarding final arming procedure. Safety protocol prohibits completing electrical connections while aircraft remains on ground. Risk assessment indicates unacceptable probability of accidental detonation during taxiing or aborted takeoff. Final arming must occur after reaching cruising altitude over open ocean. Parsons and Assistant Lieutenant Morris Jepson will enter bomb bay during flight to install detonator plugs and close firing circuits. No practice drill possible. Procedure relies on technical drawings and verbal rehearsal. In Hiroshima, evening blackout begins at designated hour. Window coverings deployed across residential and commercial structures. Street lighting extinguished. Vehicle traffic continues using reduced headlamp settings. Civil defense wardens patrol neighborhoods, verifying compliance. Recent weeks showed pattern of single reconnaissance aircraft overflights without subsequent attacks. Civilian population grows accustomed to abbreviated alert periods followed by all clear signals. Shelters remain accessible, but utilization decreases. Many residents choose to remain in homes during brief warning periods. Experience shapes expectations of safety. Japanese Air Defense Network detects high-altitude contacts approaching from southern quadrant. Single B-29 aircraft identified by radar profile. Alert status elevated to intermediate level. Anti-aircraft units assume ready positions but do not engage. Fighter interception not authorized for solo targets at extreme altitude. Contact maintains steady course without deviating toward major population centers. All clear signal issued after aircraft passes beyond tracking range. In Hiroshima, alert period lasts 40 minutes. Residents resume normal evening activities. Radio broadcasts provide no special instructions. City returns to blackout conditions without additional warnings. At Tinian, final mission personnel briefing concludes. Chaplain conducts optional religious service for crew members. Tibbets reviews navigation charts and fuel consumption calculations. Weather forecast confirms favorable conditions over primary target. Backup crews stand ready for alternative missions if mechanical issues prevent primary aircraft departure. Ground personnel complete final inspections of engines, control surfaces, and communications equipment. Crew transport arrives at aircraft hardstand. 12 personnel board Enola Gay through forward hatch. Tibbets occupies left seat. Captain Robert Lewis co-pilot position right seat. Major Thomas Farabee assumes bombardier station in nose compartment. Captain Theodore Van Kirk begins navigation plotting. Engines start in sequence, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. All power plants achieve stable operation. Taxi clearance received from tower. Aircraft proceeds to runway threshold. Takeoff weight, 65,000 kilograms. Runway length, 2,600 meters. Rotation speed calculated at 180 kilometers per hour. In Hiroshima, pre-dawn hours pass without incident. City remains under blackout discipline. Essential services maintain overnight operations including power generation, water pumping, and hospital functions. Police patrols continue routine surveillance. Fire watch teams occupy observation posts on elevated structures. No unusual activity reported. Most civilian population sleeps in homes or designated shelter areas. Enola Gay maintains cruising altitude at 9,300 meters over open water. Captain Parsons and Lieutenant Jepson enter unpressurized bomb bay wearing portable oxygen equipment. Internal temperature measures minus 20 degrees Celsius. Parsons removes access panel from weapon casing using standard tools. Green arming plugs replaced with red plugs completing electrical firing circuit. Cordite charges installed in gun breech mechanism. Safety interlocks disengaged in sequence. Arming procedure requires 11 minutes. Jepson verifies continuity using handheld testing device. Bomb status changed to live configuration. No abort capability remains beyond manual jettison over ocean. Weather reconnaissance aircraft transmit coded confirmation from target area. Hiroshima conditions. Clear skies, visibility unlimited, wind speed negligible. Mission proceeds as planned. In Hiroshima, dawn breaks over city center. Early morning workers begin commute. Streetcar operators prepare first runs of weekday schedule. Bakeries distribute reduced rations to neighborhood collection points. Air raid sirens remain silent. Radar stations detect no inbound formations. Previous night passed without alerts. City defense posture remains at baseline readiness level. Aircraft crosses Japanese coastline at Shikoku Island. Navigator Van Kirk confirms position using visual landmarks and dead reckoning calculations. Course adjustment places aircraft on direct approach bearing to Aoi Bridge aiming point. Bombardier Farabee activates Norden bombsight optical system. Crosshairs align with target coordinates. 2 escort B-29 aircraft maintain formation carrying scientific instrumentation and photographic equipment. No fighter escort assigned due to range limitations. Japanese radar operators observe 3 aircraft formation at extreme altitude. Contact profile matches previous reconnaissance patterns. No interception order issued. Fuel reserves insufficient for sustained pursuit at operational ceiling above 9,000 meters. In Hiroshima, morning routine continues. Factory shifts change at industrial facilities. Students assemble for labor assignments in open areas throughout city. Approximately 245,000 civilians occupy residential and commercial districts. Military personnel strength estimated at 43,000, including regional headquarters, staff, and transient units. Hospital wards operate at full capacity. Tram system carries peak passenger loads. Weather conditions optimal. Temperature 22 degrees Celsius. Humidity moderate. No precipitation. Bombardier Farabee assumes control of aircraft through bombsight linkage. Autopilot responds to optical tracking corrections. Tibbets announces over intercom. Bomb release in 60 seconds. Crew members don welding goggles with dark protective lenses. Airspeed holds steady at 530 kilometers per hour. Altitude 9,470 meters. Bomb bay doors open. At 8:15:15, weapon separates from aircraft. Little boy falls in ballistic trajectory. Arming sequence activates barometric sensors. 4 radar proximity fuses and 1 contact fuse assume active status. Enola Gay executes 155-degree diving turn to increase separation distance from detonation point. In Hiroshima, no warning sounds. Citizens move through morning activities unaware. At 8:15:59, weapon reaches detonation altitude 580 meters above Shima Surgical Clinic, 240 meters southeast of intended aiming point. Uranium projectile fires down gun barrel into target rings. Critical mass achieved. Nuclear chain reaction initiates. Energy release equivalent to 15,000 tons of TNT occurs in microseconds. Fireball expands to 280 meters diameter, with core temperature exceeding 1 million degrees Celsius. Thermal pulse travels at light speed, igniting all flammable materials within 3.5 kilometer radius. Blast wave follows at supersonic velocity collapsing structures within 2 kilometer radius. Approximately 70,000 people die instantly from thermal radiation and blast effects. Additional 70,000 sustain injuries. City center ceases to exist as functioning urban area within 3 seconds of detonation. Mushroom cloud rises to 18,000 meters altitude visible from Enola Gay cockpit, 16 kilometers distant. Co-pilot Lewis records observation in flight log without commentary. Radio operator transmits mission completion code to Tinian base. Aircraft turns southwest toward return course. Fuel consumption remains within calculated margins. In Hiroshima, firestorm conditions develop across 13 square kilometers. Thermal winds exceed 70 kilometers per hour, drawing oxygen toward combustion center. Survivors attempt movement away from epicenter through debris fields. Communications infrastructure destroyed. No coherent damage reports reach regional command for initial hours. Tokyo receives fragmentary radio transmissions indicating catastrophic event of unknown type. Imperial headquarters lacks assessment framework for weapon effects outside conventional explosive parameters. Rescue operations cannot begin due to complete destruction of emergency response capabilities within affected radius. City burns throughout daylight hours.